All right, so we're going to continue our process here, and now we're going to start designing on the mockups here. So if you remember this file, I said it has these really nice smart object layers, and I'm going to start with this smart object layer right here on the left can. Double click it, it opens up this file here. Now I've already have completed the design. I didn't want to bother putting it on camera because that would just take too long. But you can see here, I have all of the layers. Some of this stuff is just from copying and pasting from Illustrator. Some of it is just getting assets from online like Vecteezy or FreePic. But what you can see here is that I have this really nice pattern. It's all themed. There's a clear hierarchy. So you can see immediately the name of the can. You can tell what kind of craft beer it is. It's a premium pale lager. The ABV value is 5%. You can see the brewing company name. All the colors are unified and cohesive. And the cool thing is, because this is a smart object, it may be flat here, but once I press Command S or Control S on Windows to save, you can see that there it updates on the can itself, which is pretty darn cool. All right. Now, here's the thing. You want to keep track of these files. So this is going to be the front and back of my first can. So I'm going to save this as, assume you have a project folder. I'm going to save this as maybe can 1, Ghana, and that's going to be front and back. However you choose to name your files is up to you, but you want to make sure you have a clear system of knowing which file is which. So that's the front of this can. And I guess for this can here, I'm going to design the back. Cool thing is, typically what you do for the front, a lot of this can be used for the back. So here's what I'm going to do. This smart object here is currently for the front. I'm going to take all of these layers. I can hold the Shift key, click on the top layer, hold the Shift key, click on the bottom layer, get all my layers selected. Come here. This is the smart object for this can. Double click. It's the same size. So I'm going to drag and drop. Drag, hold the Shift key, drop. By holding the Shift key, it centers it, places it in the same position as the previous file. Now, literally, this is the back of the can. If I press Command S to save, take a look here. Now you see like front and back. The only problem is the back looks exactly like the front. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come back to, and I can even name the layers so it makes sense. This is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. Okay, so now when I come here, this is the back. I don't need that. And clearly we're not going to have the name like that on the back. So I can start to, edit this down, change how it looks, and just rework this so that it works as the back of the can. I think one of the things I'm going to do is add a rectangle shape. Like that. That has a fill. And I guess I can keep the same stroke. Or maybe I'll make it no stroke. I'll do the stroke myself. Center it. And now this will be used to kind of put more information about the can. I can add a stroke. This would be an inside stroke so the corners stay sharp. And make it the same color, maybe like that. At least for now. I might change it. But at least you guys get to see how you can take the front of something, repeat it, and let that be for the back. As you can see here in this finished process, you can see all the information that I've added for the back. First, we have the description. Now, as you can see, it is kind of customized, so it makes it look like it is specific to the Black Rhino Ghana can. And there's a nice verbiage here. So the question is, where do I get this description from? You don't have to make it up. There's this website, Rate Beer, and that's where I get all of my content from. So for example, that particular can is a premium pale lager. So when I go to Rate Beers and I look up the pale lagers, you can see right here, there's a nice description, and I can use this wording as part of, I can revise it, I can tweak it, I can modify it, but this is the foundation for the wording on the back of the can for my description here. Also, you need flavor notes. So again, where do I get these flavor notes from? I go right back to Rate Beer. And what I did here, I couldn't find, everyone is going to be different. You might find flavor notes in the beer description, or you might have to pick out one of these beers down here. And I think I chose maybe this one here. And sometimes if you can't find notes here, if you look here, you might find flavor notes. This particular one has tons of notes. Now, I don't need all of this information. I just took a few words, and you can revise it, tweak it. But that's what I used for the back of the can here under the flavor notes. I repeated the kind of beer that it is and the alcohol by volume percentage, because that's an important piece of information that helps people choose they will choose it or not choose it based off of this. So this is important. That's why I repeated it. You also need the government warning. This particular document, you can get it off the project page, and I think it was originally black from the project page. Clearly the black does not contrast well, so I added a color overlay to give it contrasting colors. All of my colors I'm sampling and repeating from this pattern here. You want to really keep your color scheme strong and consistent. Then underneath it, I have I repeated the logo from the brewing company, and then some information about where the brewing company is located, and some social media, all that stuff. Just go online, find a fictional address, modify it, and use it. And that's the back of the can. But what I did, as you recall, I copied all the stuff from the front onto the back, and then changed up a few things. Okay, so now when this is saved, save this right here, and I go to the can here. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. So now this is the front, and that's the back. And it looks like the pattern just wraps from front to back. Okay, now the great thing is this particular mock-up gave us a background that can be hidden, even deleted. All right, maybe I'll leave it there and just design on top of it. These cans I can put a design behind it. So let's see if I add a solid color. There, I have my colors that I can repeat. Okay. Actually, the color that was there was nice. Okay. You have to be careful what you move. So I can't really move like the right can by itself. It doesn't work that way because it's all connected to layer mask and highlights and shadows. All of these are part of keeping these two cans together. However, I can either keep them like this and maybe just recrop my file. So I'm pressing C to crop, and I'm extending this a little bit better like that. And now I can fill out the background again. So take that out, do another solid color fill. Oh, that's why. Okay. Make sure that's filled in with black right there. Make sure that's filled in with black. Okay, so all these little quirky things in the layer mask that can kind of affect how the document works, but you have to kind of know how to get in there and tweak it. But even with this, I can add another maybe rectangle here, a different color. Okay, so something like this. And remember, this PSD document is named Can1 Ghana Front and Back PSD. So I saved my progress. So now guess what's going to happen when it's time to do can number 2. It'll be so much easier. I can use the same file, and now I can just change the smart object layers. But the first step is to get your first cans done properly. So once you have this saved, your front and back cans, and you have it nicely designed, it's a layered PSD. This is the document that you're going to upload to Canvas and send it to me. Then we're going to have our feedback session. We'll critique your cans. We'll talk about what's working and what, maybe some things need to be changed. Once you have your first set of your first can designed, the second and third will be much easier to do front and back. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully this tutorial video helps and guides you through the process of designing your first can front and back using Photoshop mockups.